Hi. Welcome everyone. This is the of Circle of Being Somatic Shadow Work. And if you're watching this video, it means that somehow either a friend referred you to work with me to do one-on-one work, or you found me on social media, YouTube website, or on Psychology Today. And the purpose of this video is to share my understanding on what psychotherapy or one-on-one psychotherapy with me looks like, so that before you spend a bunch of money, I would like you to know that, and thus you know if working with me it's the right fit for you. Also, there's a lot of misunderstanding or some kind of idea in the culture about psychotherapy, and this is not what I'm doing. And also, this is for you to decide if this approach is the right for you, and also this is for me to be in integrity with my approach and my modality and myself in working with people. So they are in the schools of psychotherapy. I would say there are different methods, different modalities from its inception since Freud and until now. I would say that all types of modalities and methods, they would fall into two types of psychotherapy. I would say the first one is, and the most common, the one that you're most likely familiar with, is what is called talk therapy. Yeah, talk therapy. And then there's another one, the one that I'm involved with, and the one that I'm trying to do, and I'm doing, is awareness-based somatic psychotherapy. So talk therapy, like psychoanalysis or cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectic behavior therapy or humanistic therapies or a bunch of other types of psychotherapies within the umbrella of talk therapy, the common element is that no matter what method the person uses, this idea is that you are sitting with someone and then you are sharing, you are talking, you are sharing about your problems, or you are sharing about your conflicts in a relationship, or you are talking about your addiction, or you are talking about the depression and the trauma and what happened, and talking about the childhood. And mostly the therapist is engaging in some deeply open-minded, ideally open-minded, open-hearted listening, very compassionate and empathetic. And it's maybe helping you reflecting back some of the thoughts that you had and helping you go deeper into some of the underlying beliefs or underlying some of the underlying feelings that are underneath the thoughts that you might not be aware of. And so, but the overall characteristic of talk therapy is that you are in this regular state with the eyes open and you are sharing. And no matter what method the talk therapist uses, it's basically listening, reflecting, empathizing, challenging, offering some suggestions in different ways. Yeah. So this, I would say, is about 85–90% of modern day psychotherapy. The other type of psychotherapy is in the umbrella of somatic, awareness-based or mindfulness-based somatic psychotherapy. And I'm doing that. And they are less known. And to give an example of such modalities would be Hakomi, or somatic experiencing, or killer bee inquiries. And there are others, of course. And the characteristic of this type of method, which is very different than the previous one, is that although talking and empathizing and being compassionate and offering suggestions and some challenging, that is also part of it, a bigger part of it is, and the big difference is that the idea in somatic psychotherapy modalities is that your suffering, the one that you want to address, alleviate, transcend, whatever it is, depression, anxiety, trauma. By the way, trauma is not, there's misunderstanding about trauma. Trauma is not just having gone to Iraq or being in a war. and being in horrendous situations, or being physically abused, or being raped, or having this like one time or multiple events that are very intense and traumatic. Trauma, actually, there is also what's called developmental trauma, which is less known, and usually it's harder to cure, so to say. It's just living in childhood for many years in a family where maybe the parents are checked out, or they are addicted, or they're unloving, or they are angry, or hurtful, or criticizing, or controlling, or neglectful, or putting you down, or even simply they are nice parents to you overall, but they are fighting all the time, and they're screaming and fighting and all of that. So this is called developmental trauma. And this is that means that in the period of early development, there were conditions that were harsh, scary, unloving, and shocking. Yeah. Uh, Actually, in my understanding, a lot of these so-called mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, addiction, relational problems, um, suicide ideation, all of that, they have at the roots some form of trauma, whether it's a big T trauma or developmental trauma. So this suffering, yeah, it is located in all aspects of our being. So the suffering plays out as thoughts in the head, recurring thoughts, looping thoughts, negative thoughts, all kind of thoughts. Also, at the same time, it plays at the level of our emotions. We have a bunch of emotions. And by the way, we haven't been trained in our culture and by our parents what to do with these emotions. And we are afraid of our emotions, and we are suppressing them, or they are already repressed. We don't feel them, and they turn into all kind of bodily contractions and difficult energies and states, pleasant states that come actually from buried emotions, unfelt emotions, resisted emotions. Another part of our suffering is in our body. The body, actually, somatic psychotherapy. Soma means from Greek, the body, the meat. So our suffering is not just in the head as thoughts, although most of us, we are spinning with thoughts. It's in the emotional level, it's in the body. And they're all actually connected. The body, mind, and the emotions are all connected, and spirit is one thing. And what's the difference about the somatic, awareness-based somatic psychotherapy is that we need to bring awareness. You as the future client, you need to bring awareness to all aspects of the suffering, and bring this quality of mindfulness, or quality of loving presence, or being aware to the type of thoughts we have, to the type of feelings we have, and the types of, contractions, tensions, chronic pain. A lot of these so-called chronic pains, or bodily contractions and energies and tensions in the jaw, or all kind of tensions in the chest, in the belly, all of this that make us actually go into addictions to alleviate them. All of this, actually, they are buried energies of trauma, and buried feelings, buried sensations that we don't get to. So for me, I don't want to do talk therapy. Yeah, I'm trained in talk therapy, but I don't want to do that. And why? Because for me, it didn't work. Um, and for all the people I worked with doing just talk therapy, this is more like addressing just the head, the level of the mind, and a little bit the emotions. It's kind of talking about it. There is a little bit of benefit in a way that, especially as a man or as a woman, that you are alone and then you can't talk to anybody. It is helpful to talk to somebody who is somehow overall wise and skilled and trained, and listens to you and reflects back some of the things and offers some suggestions. So this will bring some type of alleviation, but it doesn't actually go to the roots of the suffering. And then, although you may have some relief a little bit for a few days, then the same trigger comes up again. The same anxiety states, depressed states come up again. The same relational issues. Again, the addiction comes up again, and you have to go back again and again. And it's a little bit like psychotherapy chiropractic or massage. There is some little bit of alleviation, but it doesn't go to the roots of it, and it doesn't help for us to really, really dismantle that kind of energy and actually be truly recover our sense of happiness and our sense of peace and well-being, joy, creativity. So that is why if you want to work with me, I am interested to do this kind of awareness-based somatic psychotherapy, which actually is my book. And no disrespect to regular talk therapies, and I know there have been wise therapists out there, and they're there now. For me, that doesn't go very far. It's a little bit like if you can look at your suffering as a iceberg. The talk therapy addresses just the top layer, which is like above the water. But actually, the deepest, the yuckiness, the energies that we are afraid of, the actual cause and the roots of our suffering are underneath the water, and they are subconscious and unconscious. And in order to heal, we need to bring them to the surface, actually, and witness them, bring awareness to them. And with my help, it's difficult to do it alone because you don't know what to do. I can help you guide this gradual process that is manageable. So whatever issues you have in your life, whatever depression, anxiety, whatever it is, trauma, we kind of gradually kind of go below the level of the thoughts, and we go to the level of the feelings and the resistance to feelings and the bodily sensations and the contractions, which are not just sensations and contractions. They have hidden messages in it, saying things like, I'm not worthy, you're not lovable, you're not going to amount to anything, the world is not safe, all of this. So how does a somatic psychotherapy session look like? Is, of course, we are going to talk, yeah? It's not going to jump straight into it. We have to get familiar with each other and to have some sense of trust and rapport. But once we go after this phase, a usual somatic psychotherapy session is that after about 10, 15 minutes of talking and honing into some area that you want to explore, then basically I would ask you to close your eyes, and then I will guide some type of guided mindfulness. Yeah, it's not meditating, but it's very similar to meditating. So some guided mindfulness where I'm walking you through in a way that you become more aware of your breath, more aware of your body, more aware of your feelings. And in this way, you are less in the head, less lost in past and future, and you are more kind of being present to what's really here. Yeah. And in this way, we go below this level of the top of the iceberg, and we go a little bit underneath where the actual root of suffering is. So I'm kind of guiding this, and then your mind gets more quiet, and the body gets more relaxed. And then from there, I'm going to bring up whatever issue that is, some conflict with a partner, or some dissatisfaction, or some sense that life is not worth living, or whatever it is. These sufferings are universal. We all have it. So I'm going to basically have you with the eyes closed while I'm deeply aware of you and deeply attuned to you. I'm going to bring up whatever that issue is, but not in a way that you tell me again and again the same problem, that you do in talk therapy, but we are going to somehow unpack these files in this welcoming, loving awareness that is now joined. It's your awareness and my awareness together there. And I'm going to slow the whole thing down so you become aware of each single thought. And we are going to witness each thought without trying to get rid of it or challenge it. We are going to bring awareness to the feelings. We are going to bring awareness to the resistance to feelings. And I'm going to track you and attune to you. If things are too much, I will know that. And then I'm going to bring up back to another level so it's more manageable. So this is how it look like. And then it's not just I'm doing a guided meditation or guided inquiry. We are going to engage, but you are going to be with the eyes closed and sharing with me why Okay, why this eyes closed thing? Yeah, because if you are with the eyes closed, then you are aware of this tension here. And I'm going to ask you to, can we let this tension be here? Can we let this sadness be here? Welcome it as a child coming from the woods. It's hungry and suffering. Can we just let it be there, and then let it tell us what it has to say? So if you're with your eyes closed, you can be with it, and you can listen to it, and you will report back to me. Yeah. And then I'm going to guide the process deeper and following the river of your subconscious. If you open your eyes and you start telling me, oh yeah, this what happened, and this and that, this or that, then we are going away from what's happening. We are going into the head, and we are not bringing the light of awareness, the light of the spirit, our presence, to this subconscious mind. The principle behind this somatic psychotherapy is that we bring this conscious mind, or our mindfulness, energy of mindfulness, we make the unconscious conscious. And in this process, basically, those painful files, they are kind of loosen up, and they lose their power, actually. And in the process also, there will be some old feelings that will come up, that they are probably from childhood. Maybe they are not even yours. They are stored there, and we're always trying to manage, are afraid of them. So it's going to be a gradual unpacking and releasing of your subconscious, so to say, of your spirit. And it's like each session, there will be like a washing of some cloth that has been crusted with beliefs, with sense of deficiency. I'm not good enough. I'm not safe. There's something wrong with me. I can't have a good relationship. I'm scum. I'm toxic. I'm not good enough. Yeah, there are these layers of false beliefs, and in these layers, there also pain. There's pain and sadness and feelings and resistance to this and memories. So each time we do a session like that, we wash some layer from this. Yeah. So this is what worked for me, and this is working for people, and this is what I want to do. Yeah. This is not for everybody. If you want to simply, which is legitimate, you want to talk to someone, you want to be heard, you want to be empathized, and you want some reflection, and then we want to come again and do the same again and again, maybe working with Mihai is not the right fit. It's not the right fit for me. It's not the right fit for you. So you may need to find a regular talk therapist. But if what I described to you, and also I recommend to research a little bit like Hakomi, mindfulness-based somatic psychotherapy, or killer bee inquiries. If what I described sounds good to you, then it means that we are right fit. Another important idea here is one of my principles is that I want to help you help yourself. I'll say this again. I want to help you help yourself. I don't want that you just come to me and I get your money, and then I just listen to you, and then you feel a little bit better, and then you come back again and again. Yeah. So that's what I would like. I want the session that we do together, it will be very helpful to get to some intense stuff that is hard to deal yourself. But part of the session is that you will, and even after the session, you will learn you'll learn some tools, you will learn some skills, you will learn some methods to now do this to yourself. Yeah. So you are not depending forever on me or anyone else as a therapist. Yeah. It's important to have a guide, to have a teacher, to have a psychotherapist, but the ultimate aim is that you are learning how to use this on yourself. So you start to work on yourself. Yeah. And the more you do that, then you have a little bit less need to work with me all the time. So now, this type of awareness-based somatic psychotherapy, is not easy. So in order for it to work, that I have some requirements here for you. So you need to be honest with yourself and see if this feels right to you. So for this to be successful and for you to kind of alleviate whatever suffering you have, it's important to put some time into it and not just sessions with me. Yeah. So for people who want to do this type of work, I would like you to be willing to learn some awareness practices or to engage in some mindful meditation. And this is not any conversion to any religion or anything. I'm not talking about Buddhism or Hinduism. Mindfulness and this quality of observing and witnessing thoughts, feelings, sensation. It's an essential part of healing, essential, crucial part of making the unconscious conscious and thus unburdening ourselves. And yeah, if we are not, our normal state is we are, honestly, we are kind of checked out in all the time, lost in thoughts, past, future, narration, inner commentary, judgment of ourselves, of others. And in this state, we are ultimately kind of a little bit asleep. So we can't really bring awareness to our subconscious if we are not aware. So that's why it's important for you to be willing to put some time, and I will give you homework. So after this session, I have lots of homework in the form of YouTube videos and customized tools for you, depending where you're at. So it's important to be willing to put some time into it, to practice awareness practices, and as we go deeper, to practice some of the tools yourself. Yeah. And then if you do this, actually our work will go much faster, and gradually you will be able to apply this thing on your own by yourself, and this will be very empowering and very satisfying, and you will feel much more you are your own healer. Because ultimately you are your own healer. I'm not a magician. I cannot just, I wish I could take it from you, but it doesn't work like that. How it works is that for some reason, due to overall level of humanity, due to painful upbringing, wrong upbringing, unlovingness, traumatic events inherited from our ancestors, we got programmed and wounded and hurt, and we haven't received the tools to be well, to be present, to be awake, to be in our power. So my job is to hold your hand for some time and navigate this together. But then you need to do your job. You need to do your work, and then things will go much better for you. Yeah. So another important idea and a question that I often get is, all right, well, this sounds great. How long would it take for me? And I always chuckle. Well, it depends. It depends of the type of, woundedness and the type of material, so to say, the type of trauma that you had. It depends on your willingness to put time into it, and your eagerness, and how dissatisfied you are with this current state, and how eager and willing you are to do the work. And then if these factors are high, I would say that still it will take a few months minimum, a few months to feel a little lighter. Yeah. So that's how we would take. It's on you. I'll do my best, but it's very much on you. Another idea is that people ask me, well, how often I should, if I have session with you, how often I should have it? Well, initially it is ideal to have once a week. Yeah. If you do once a month or every 2 weeks or so, it's not ideal. It's a little bit sporadic. Together we are going to go into some really hot potatoes and unpleasant territories. So it's good to stay there and work together week to week with homework and exercises to keep going. As naturally, at the same time, I am very interested for psychotherapy to end. I don't want to have you forever. So naturally, there is a progression, and we can go into every other week, and once a month, and so on and so forth. I also, and I will make a little video later, besides one-on-one work, I do some other type of work, group work. So, that's another option in conjunction with one-on-one psychotherapy. So that has a lot of benefits. Group work has a lot of benefits that one-on-one doesn't have, and vice versa. All right, so thanks for your patience, but I think that's really essential conversation. Rather than pay me a bunch of money just to hear this and decide that it's not for you, it's better to do it like this for free. Some more details would be that, so a session with me would be 75 minutes, like an hour and 15 minutes. So we have a little bit of time to talk, and also we have a little bit of time to process, and we have a little bit of time to come back up and prepare you for coming outside of the office and facing the world in a stable place. So 75-minute session. You can get single sessions, or I have packages that you can find on my website, and where's the booking link, packages of 4 sessions that come, that there will be a reduced price with packages of 4. Also, I have there, you can book a clarity call, which would be a 30-minute free of charge conversation, ideally on video, Zoom, where you can ask me any questions, or, but I will ask you to watch this video first, and we can have that clarity call for you to decide. Yeah, another idea is that, so I offer, let's say, 3 types of sessions. Yeah, 3 types of session. They are the same price. The awareness-based somatic psychotherapy, which is for anybody who has any type of, emotional, mental, trauma, suffering of any sorts. As like anybody who comes to a psychotherapist, they have some suffering. I have that too. So this would be the primary type of session. We are processing triggers, processing childhood patterns, doing inner child work, processing trauma, learning how to process, dealing with feelings, and so on. This will be the main type of session. Another type of session is, I would call, psychosomatic spiritual counseling. This will be for people who have already done a lot of work. Perhaps they've done talk therapy, they have done somatic psychotherapy, they've done, psychedelic works, medicine work. They have been seekers of truth and all of that. So they're already, let's say, seasoned people who worked a lot on themselves. And then, so with such people, I can help you in a way to see what is needed. Maybe there's some trauma processing a little bit more, or a little bit of more, transcendental, awareness-based inquiries that are more from the spiritual realm. So, or, some kind of coaching, depending where you're at. So that would be the second type of session I do. And then a third type of session would be practitioner training. So this is for people who are either healers themselves, or they are coaches, or they are psychotherapists, psychologists, social workers, healers, shamans, whatever. So you are working with people in this capacity, which I respect you and commend you for that. And you are interested in learning some of my tools, which actually are not mine. This Circle of Being somatic shadow work is a blend of very many modalities and methods. There are other videos to share what those are. So you want to learn to deepen your skills of working, processing people somatically, and getting more understanding about psychosomatic awareness work. So I can customize that session for your needs, teaching you tools, teaching you how to work with people, teaching you how to lead groups and all of that. But the most important thing is to do your work. So we will always start with processing your own stuff. Yeah, that's That's what's the bread and butter for any healer. So yeah, coming towards the very end here, you know, the most important thing in choosing someone to be in this position, you know, which is I'm honored to be in this position for you. You know, the most important suggestion I have for you in choosing a psychotherapist or a guide is that, you know, the credentials and the diplomas and all of that are good, but they are, in my book, not so essential. You know, I have them. What is the most important is that that person has done their work, has faced their demons, has looked into their own subconscious. You know, that's the most important. And you can't really quite determine that from a video. Another way to choose your psychotherapist is that to just close your eyes somehow, and after this video, or you look at this video and you check in yourself with your gut. You know, you check with your gut, you check with your heart, and you just listen and you ask yourself, is this the right person for me? You know, and just follow that gut heart intuition. Yeah, that's important. It's a lot of wisdom in that. So check and see if you resonate with this Mihai on the screen. Yeah, and of course you can read about my modality on my website, on YouTube, and all of that. But checking with your inner intuition is the most important. And I guess there's also what I mentioned at the beginning, is that I am not interested to do talk therapy. So that's where I'm at. And hopefully this is helpful for you. And if this feels right to you, I'm happy to help you free yourself from all of these years and conditioning and suffering, so we can get unstuck and really have a good life, and perhaps even going beyond into becoming more and more conscious and fulfilling our potential in terms of spiritual development. So thank you.